Welcome back to another live feed on Shama's YouTube channel. Let's get into it. 1991 Washington Redskins. It's when they was the Redskins compared to what they are today. They have a different nickname. Back then they were known as the Washington Redskins. Now, this team was a great team. It's the 35th anniversary of this great team that was dominant. It's the last championship team that the Washington Redskins had as a franchise. Obviously, they changed their nickname, but the Redskins, that's what they were in 91. They went 14-2, won Super Bowl XXVI against the Buffalo Bills, led by a great coach in Joe Gibbs. The team led the league in scoring, had the second best defense, had a powerful offense led by Rypien. Not a Hall of Famer, but he had a great season that year and earning them a reputation as one of the great single-season teams in NFL history, rightfully so. They won the division in the NFC East. They led the league in points scored, 485. Let's see what else they did. They allowed the second fewest points, 224. Had an 8+18 turnover ratio. The key players on this offense, especially on offense, was Rypien. Obviously, Ernest Biner, Gary Clark, Art Monk. They beat the Atlanta Falcons 24-7. 41-10 Detroit, they beat them, and then they won Super Bowl XXVI, winning 37-24. They were considered by many one of the most complete dominant teams ever, despite not having that much star power. Teams plus 261 point differential was the best differential in history. Rypien won the MVP. Yeah, that's the thing about that team. That team had many superstars on it. And we had Hall of Famers like Art Monk, Darrell Green. That's basically, I don't think you had any other Hall of Famers on that team other than those two guys. So there's a good point that they didn't have that much overwhelming superstar power on that team compared to the other teams that came before or after. Like, you had, 9 all-pro players on the team. Rypien was on the second team All-Pro. Ernest Biner, second team All-Pro. Gary Clark, second team All-Pro. Offensive tackle Jim Lachey, first team. Everybody else was on the second team. Chip Miller, the kicker. Kicker return Brian Mitchell, second team All-Pro. Darrell Green, Wilbur Marshall, and Charles Mann. For Pro Bowlers, they had Mark Schlereth, Jim Lachey, Charles Mann, Darrell Green, Chip Miller, Gary Clark, Biner, and Mark Rypien. But no Hall of Famers except for Darrell Green. And they had this list. None of these guys are in the Hall of Fame. Gary Clark is not in the Hall of Fame. Mark Rypien, Ernest Biner, Jim Lachey, Chip Miller, Brian Mitchell, Will Marshall, Charles Mann. I don't think they're in the Hall of Fame. Only had 2 Hall of Famers on this team. But this was a great team, though. They were dominant. They're a great team. And when you show your dominance in the playoffs, that's where you know you're dominant even more. Mark Rypien had an outstanding year. He threw 3,464 passing yards. That was the best in the NFC, 4th in the league. 8.5 yards per pass attempt, second in the league. Ernest Biner had 1,048 rushing yards. That's 5th in the league. Art Monk had 1,000 yards, 1,049 yards, 1,304 yards for Gary Clark. And this team also is the last Super Bowl champion to never trail any of their playoff victories. Think about that. The last Super Bowl champion to never trail any of their playoff victories. They're the last Super Bowl team. It's also Joe Gibbs became the first head coach to win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. They beat the Lions who had fixed the championship game 45-0. It was a dominant performance by them. Yeah, this is a great team, man. The last championship team that this franchise haven't had since. It's amazing. What a great franchise as Washington is. That's the last time they won a Super Bowl, 35 years ago. Can they win another one? Yes, definitely. But I think when you look at what they have now in Jaden Daniels, the talent that they have a chance. I don't think they're going to win this year, but they definitely got a chance to get back to that level. I mean, recently they was in the championship game a couple of seasons ago, lost to the Eagles. So this is a franchise that has a lot of history behind it. It's just that they haven't tasted that Super Bowl championship in a long time. They could have got there a couple years ago, but didn't happen. So to watch the Commanders now, but back then they were the Washington Redskins, and they were just dominant that year. They were great that year. They were a great team. They had the Hogs. I guess they were still the Hogs in the 90s. Obviously, they came from the 80s, but this is a franchise that won 5 league championships. So they up there. They won the great franchises in sports, in the NFL. As far as National Football League is concerned, they've done a lot of great things. They haven't won a championship in a long time, 35 years. So that's all I need to say about that. So I'm done. So since their last Super Bowl victory in 1991, the franchise has won just 5 playoff games and 4 division titles. So we'll see if they get back to that point. But again, they were there on the brink of getting there a couple of seasons ago when they had Jaden Daniels. Like they was going to get back to the Super Bowl. They lost to the Eagles. So 2024, that was the year. Jaden Daniels, they went to the NFC Championship game for the first time since '91. So that's been a long time. So we'll see if they can get back to that moving forward. But that's basically it. Look at that team from '91. I don't think I'm doing another live feed the rest of the day. So till then, talk to you soon.